I had a feeling we would have an update today in the heroic Daniel Penny case. If you're unfamiliar with it, the 30-second TLDR is heroic Marine saves subway car full of people from deranged lunatic, rewarded by getting charged simply because he was a white male and the person he was protecting them from happened to be black. You will never convince me ever that this isn't exactly why he was charged. There is no doubt in my mind the entire trial was a sham and a massive disgrace to just about everything imaginable. The damage that it has done to people's willingness to help each other out is irreparable. It will never ever be the same. People will now always be thinking about, boy, I don't know, maybe I should not help this person because I'm a white man and the person over there is getting attacked by somebody of a different skin color, so I can't intervene because I don't want to. And they'll be right because that's what the justice system has laid out. But a massive bit of good news this late afternoon. Real quick, this video is sponsored by Aura. Aura is a product that I actually use. This year has seen a record of high-profile data breaches, raising serious concerns about personal information security. Dell suffering a breach that exposed 3.9 million customer records. Ticketmaster exposing 560 million customer records. But most alarmingly, not that long ago, National Public Data announced that they had suffered a major breach affecting 2.9 billion records, including critical personal information, full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and even most importantly, social security numbers. It's been confirmed that that information has been released. And if you haven't been taking your personal information online seriously, now is the time to change that. Thankfully, I feel secure because I use Aura. Today's sponsor. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points on the dark and public web, public court records to alert you of potential identity theft, and provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura also offers a variety of other features to keep you safe online, including real-time alerts for data breaches, which I actually use a service and I've actually gotten before. So I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches, and you don't want to do that either. Go to Aura.com/thequartering to try 2 weeks for free. That will be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your information is out there. Link in the description also. Again, you probably want to check that out before the holidays, especially. I just feel much safer using it now. Robbie Starbuck pointing out, when I saw the double-masked juror on the Daniel Penny trial, I knew the best we could hope for was a hung jury. Now, the sad part about this is that essentially everyone, including the double masker, by the way, every one of these people on this jury would have been thanking their lucky stars to have been on that subway car with Daniel Penny that day when he dealt with a actual threat to their safety without any thought. He trusted law enforcement by doing an interview with them afterwards, waiving his Miranda rights. Again, class, what have we learned? Never talk to cops. You get your lawyer, even if you feel you are 100% correct, because that footage was then later used by a corrupt attorney to charge Daniel Penny, who that attorney, I believe, refers to as the white man in this case. The only reason that he was charged, again, was that because he was white and this schizophrenic attacker, drug addict attacker, was black. Jurors in the Daniel Penny trial earlier today told the judge that they were deadlocked on a manslaughter charge for the second time in the subway chokehold case. My guess is that there were maybe, because they had to reach a unanimous decision, there was probably one or maybe two holdouts of people that wanted to convict him. My guess is it's at least one, and it was probably the double mask person, just a guess. But then the judge said, resume your deliberations with an open mind. And after they sent the first note, and they were having trouble reaching a consensus on whether or not to convict him of recklessly, quote unquote, causing Neely's passing by placing him in a 6-minute chokehold. Well, he held him in a chokehold as long as he needed to survive, to clear the scene. And there are people here that at this point, you can see several other people probably thinking they're lucky stars that they weren't charged, because you can see this man, coincidentally, it appears to be a black man, also restraining this individual for some reason. I don't know why. Who could possibly guess? He was not charged in this. Well, the latest breaking information says that Daniel Penny trial judge agrees to drop the top manslaughter count, which is the one that, carried the 15-year sentence, after the jury had come back deadlocked twice. I assume there is someone on that jury that just quite frankly refuses to convict this individual, or there's someone on that jury that quite frankly refuses to see that this man is a hero. In fact, he was nominated for a award today, some sort of congressional award. I think it was congressional. I'll have to double check that in a second. A Manhattan judge on Friday agreed to drop the top charge against Daniel Penny in the subway chokehold incident. We moved to dismiss the top count of manslaughter in the second degree. Assistant District Attorney Daphna Yoran told the court around 3:30. The judge signed off on the request, which came after jurors twice said Fridays that they couldn't come to a verdict on the manslaughter rap because he's not guilty of it. And they have somebody in there who's ideologically captured. The 12-person panel now, see, here's the big but. They will resume deliberating on Monday on the lesser charge, which is of negligent homicide, of which Penny faced trial in May for the May 2023 encounter aboard the F train. He, of course, has pled not guilty as well. Now, if you look at the definition of it, a person is guilty of criminally negligent homicide if they cause the death of another person through criminal negligence. The prosecution must prove that the offender's actions deviated from the standard of care that a reasonable person would observe were the proximate cause to the victim's death. Criminally negligent homicide is a Class E felony with a maximum of 4 years in prison. Now, I'm just guessing. Now, again, I have almost no faith whatsoever in our legal system. But obviously, some people are saying, well, this is just so they could get him on the other charge. I'm guessing if you're Daniel Penny, that was a big exhale, getting the one with a 15-year sentence off the table. Now you're looking at one with a maximum of 4. And obviously the judge is not going to impose the maximum. And probably it would be up to the judge whether or not he would even get prison time. So, I would guess you're probably not going to do that. The fact that Neely was still alive when the first responders arrived should have disqualified this charge immediately. Neely was alive and rejected treatment and had drugs in his system. Yeah, I would say so. People saying, I think he did pretty well staying within the standard of care for restraining a crazy maniac terrorizing a subway car full of innocent people. He should be found innocent of this charge as well. Examples of this charge would be firing a weapon into the air in a crowded celebration, leaving a child unattended in the car in hot weather. And then, by the way, someone has to die in these scenarios. Texting while driving at high speeds in a crowded area. These are things that would be, an example of this charge. I don't know, at this point, if he's going to get, both charges should have been and should be dismissed, of course. Daniel Penny is a model citizen who should be praised by the city of New York. You see here, Judge Daniel Penny case is rigging it to force a guilty verdict. This from Mike Cernovich, who I believe is or was a lawyer. Yeah, you can see it's possible. What Daphne Yoran is doing to Daniel Penny is nuts and absolutely illegal. She moved to dismiss count 1, manslaughter, because count 2, criminal negligent homicide, couldn't be considered if there was a verdict. They're bending the law to try and squeeze a guilty verdict for somebody who saved people on the train. You see, ADA Yoran, don't tell them it's acquittal on a count 1. Only that is dismissed. Penny's lawyer says this has never been done before. It would encourage the prosecutors now to overcharge in the grand jury with the option of withdrawing if hung under coercion. So Daniel Penny's own legal team said, this is crazy. We don't want to do this because it sets the precedent now for you guys to be more corrupt. The judge says, I'll take a chance and grant the people's application. I'm going to let them return to consider on count 2 on Monday. Bring them in. Jury entering. Judge, the manslaughter in the second degree is dismissed. You are free to consider count 2 on Monday. Judge Wiley says, I would say if I'm on the jury, I would guess that this would probably signal to me that, they should also dismiss that case. But what this feels like is a Hail Mary attempt to try and make sure they can still get a guilty verdict. That's what they want. The judge and prosecution are pushing the jury towards a compromise verdict. This is usually considered misconduct. In this case, it could pass because the judge took the top charges off the table. This is evil. Also, if the jury is hung on the negligent homicide charge, there can be a retrial for the manslaughter. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Yeah, it's dismissed with prejudice. Yeah, it was dismissed with prejudice, so they can't retry it. I don't know. I know that people say this was crazy. By the way, this is the accuser here, by the way. Not enough people know this about the testimony. Again, he was very dirty. Cops for Daniel Trenny trial blame filth, fear of getting AIDS for not performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the homeless person. By the way, you don't have to do that. The bail, by the way, of course, $200,000 for him. This guy's, this black guy here stabbed a homeless guy, and he got bail $0 and had the charges dropped. This is a perfect microcosm, right? Daniel Penny did the same thing as Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams is black with dreadlocks, 0 bail, no charges. Daniel Penny, $200,000 bail and full-on charges to try and ruin this guy's life. I don't know why we can't, call this out what it is, but there's definitely all these charges need to be dismissed. If they find him guilty on anything at this point, obviously he needs to go to appeal. But this is, I still say it's a minor win, because at least if this corrupt system gets him, it's not going to be for 20 or 15 years. But I'm hoping, Matt Walsh thinks it's an embarrassment that New Yorkers haven't been rallying en masse to support Daniel Penny. Yeah, I'm guessing. We'll have to see how the second part of this shakes out Monday. I'm hoping for an acquittal on that charge as well. We'll wait and see. Make sure you subscribe or follow down below to make sure you get notified when I upload any updates to this case, and we'll talk to you again real soon.